This is Mark, and I'm here with Teresa, Cynthia, and Shelley from the Center for Math and Teaching. If you don't know us or our work, we're happy to meet you. We are a nonprofit. We develop middle school mathematics curriculum and resources, and we support teachers in using them. We work together in the math department at UCLA for about 10 years, and then about 10 years ago, we left the university to form our company, CMAT. So let's get started on the fun and games. These are the 4 activities that we're going to describe to you today. A couple of them are games, and a couple of them are puzzles. Some of them are probably familiar to you. They're all easy to use. You can use them right away. And we are going to get started right now on the first one. So Shelley, lead us through 4 in a row, our version of it.
Thanks, Mark. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad to see that so many of you joined us today. The first game that I'm going to share with you is a game we call 4 in a row, and it is a takeoff on the classic Connect 4 game where you try and get 4 of your little discs in a row. In our game, you need to do some math problems in order to earn a square, and the game boards are located on our website in what we call Carol's Corner. Carol is actually Carol Greenis, who is a well-known, respected math educator and a colleague of ours, and she's given us permission to post many of her puzzles and games on our website, and we also post some of our own there as well. It's exciting to take a look at that website. I think you'll find some other things that you enjoy there, besides from the things that we're showing you here today. In addition to the game boards, you'll need some color counters, 2 sets, since there are 2 players, and 2 other objects. Today, we're just going to use little slips of paper. So the object of the game, as I said, is to get 4 in a row, across, down, or diagonally. And as you are doing this, you will have an opportunity to gain some skill in problem solving and practice some of the mathematics that you are learning or are reviewing in a game format. So we're going to demonstrate this for you right now. I'm going to let Mark go first.
All right. I need to pick one number in box A and one number in box B. And I've chosen 2 and 30, so I get 32. And I'm going to choose, I actually see a couple of 32s. I'm going to choose this one.
Okay, and for your first move, Mark, you needed to choose 2.
Right.
And I just thought I'd let everybody know this is a pretty easy board. It's all about sums. So here's our sum board. Now it's my turn, and I am going to move your 30 to the 8. So once the game starts, I'm only allowed to move one of those little pieces of paper at a time. That's going to give me a 10, and I'm going to put it right underneath the green one.
Okay. So now it's my turn, and I'm going to choose to move the 2 here to the 9, and that gives me 17, so you can see I have a little strategy going.
So now I really want to get a 22 so I could block you. But I don't see how to get a 22 by just moving one of them. So I think what I'll do is move the 8 to the 20. That'll give me a 29, and I can start my own row.
Okay, and so we would keep going from there until somebody gets 4 in a row.
And that's the game, 4 in a row. So when you go to Carol's Corner and scroll down to the bottom right-hand square in Carol's Corner, you'll find the 4 in a row games, and there are actually 5 different boards that are available to you. The percent one actually has an answer key that we made as a sample so that you can see how to do that. The others, the division, equations, and areas of triangles and addition, do not have answer keys, but we do provide you with a blank 4 in a row so that you can create an answer key of your own. And we also provide you with a template so that you could create your own 4 in a row games. And if you do decide to make your own 4 in a row games, please pass them along to us, and we will take the best of them and post them as free resources to others in Carol's Corner for you. So you will be published in Carol's Corner.
Alrighty, so the next activity is called Pattern Grid Unlocks. This is a free book on our website. You can see our website again right there, and it's located in Carol's Corner again. And this is a full-on book. It's downloadable. It's got a bunch of fun, challenging puzzles in there. These puzzles are especially great for spatial reasoning and critical thinking, which of course are used all the time in mathematics. There are directions in this book. There are answer keys included as well. So let's take a look at some of the things that are in the book. The first thing you might want to use is this page of these 9 puzzle pieces. These 9 pieces are used in every puzzle. If you wanted to print these out and cut them out, you could definitely do that. Let's look at a couple of examples so we can help you understand the rules. So if you choose to play this, you could just jump right in. This is called Pattern 8, so it's the 8th puzzle. It happens to be in the first section, which is the easier of the 3 sections. The goal here is to fill up 3 X's, 3 circles, and 3 triangles in the 3x3 grid. If you look at your pieces, the clues are these connected pieces. I can start with anything I want, and if I choose that one, that just means I have to place 3 X's and a circle in that configuration somewhere in here. I can figure out where I'm going to put the 2 circles in a triangle. I'm going to put it there. And then I have this last one, and I don't have a place to put these 2 triangles and 2 circles because pieces can overlap if the shapes match. Can't do that here. I can't have circle on top of X, for example. That won't work. So if I keep playing around with it, I might recognize that that's a better place there because this one now overlaps there, and this one fits in nicely because the circles overlap. And I have 3 X's, 3 circles, 3 triangles, and this works just fine. Let's look at one more of these. This happens to be pattern 22 in the middle section, the medium section. We're looking at this one because there's a little bit of a twist here that didn't occur with the previous one. So I can start with whatever I want, and I'm going to start with that one. And the nice thing about these 3 pieces is there's only one place where that can go. This one, I could put maybe in a couple of places for sure here. And then I have that last piece, and well, those 2 triangle pieces can overlap those, and that fits in. And so I have my 3 X's, a circle, and 3 triangles, and I've used all of my configurations, all of my 3 clues. So that other thing I was talking about, the other sort of rule, is that sometimes you got to figure out if there are missing shapes, what goes there. Because I've placed all my pieces correctly. They all fit. And I can see that I only have 1 circle, so that must be circles. So that's Pattern Grid Unlocks. Now, Shelley's going to describe to you what she did with her grandkids in a virtual setting because they were not even in the same city. So, Shelley, what did you guys do?
So I've done this with my grandkids, and I've done this in a tutoring setting, all virtually, and it's worked out great. And the kids just love it. In fact, they just want more and more puzzles. Sometimes I would just print out 1 page, like this is what the Pattern 8 page looks like. And I would face my iPad set so that it can see this piece of paper. We numbered the grid squares like that, and we labeled the pieces like that. So then the kids would either draw this on their own paper or just tell me what to do. And they would say, okay, I'd like you to put piece A in the grid so that the 2 X's in the top row are in the 2nd and 3rd squares. And that gave us a language to be able to talk over the internet on FaceTime and be clear about what our directions and what we wanted to do. And the kids had a great time with this. One thing I discovered was that it was hard for me not to give them a lot of clues. I kept wanting to do it for them, but they actually figured it out really well themselves and figured out all sorts of strategies for themselves. So if you're a teacher, try and hold back. And if you're a student, show how smart you are by figuring out how to do these puzzles.
So here's our 3rd activity. which are open middle problems. You may have heard of them. If you haven't, you might be wondering what open middle means. Some know about open-ended math problems, and those are problems that have more than one correct answer, as long as it can be justified. Open middle problems actually just have one correct answer, but the middle, the approach, the way you get to the answer might vary for different people. There might be multiple ways to get to it, but there is one correct answer. First, we're going to show you an example of an open middle problem that we've used in our curriculum. They're great for practice and strategic thinking. It starts off with some directions and a structure. We're told that we can use the digits 1 through 9, no more than once each, to fill up these 6 placeholders. We like to scaffold it so that we start off with something that's accessible to pretty much anybody who might need some practice with mixed number addition. And we might just say, find any sum. And so if I were to do this, I've used 6 numbers in the right structure. But you may notice that I've used a 1 in 2 different places, and I can only use them once each. But I could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I get practice with addition. And that kind of shows that I know the rules, and now I can jump into something maybe a little bit harder. We pose this, find a sum between 10 and 20, and now you have to start being a little bit strategic. I know right away that if my whole numbers were, say, 8 and 7, then I can make up some other fractions, and I'd get something I already know is going to work. If I find that sum, that proves it's between 10 and 20. And then we get to something that's quite a bit more challenging. Find the greatest sum possible. Probably are going to have a hard time unless you use some strategy. So we're going to leave it up to you to figure out what to do. We could have asked the least sum possible too, and that would be challenging as well. We're going to I'll show you where you can go to get a whole bunch of problems. This is the Open Middle website. You see openmiddle.com right there. And though we specialize in the middle grades, they've given you problems in kindergarten all the way through high school. Just so you get a feeling, because we're middle school fans, I want to show you what is in 7th grade. If we took a quick look at expressions and equations, you'd arrive here. So this shows 1, 2, 3 problems, and if we scroll down, we would see 13 problems total just for 7th grade expressions and equations. So you can imagine all those different topics in all those different grades, you're going to have a lot of things to choose from. If we were to click on that first problem, 2-step equations, they do give a hint and an answer for most problems.
Before you go on, I want to give a shout out to Robert Kaplinski and Nanette Johnson, who were the originators of this website. I'd like to give credit to them where credit is due. It's also kind of cool when you go through that website, there are a lot of other contributors besides from Robert and Nanette. They have embraced the opportunity to have teachers create problems and put them on the website as well.
Yeah, and I think anybody can contribute. Robert's son has contributed some problems.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So after you make your 4 in a row problem, you can make up an open middle problem and become an author.
Move on to the last activities, which are 2 dice games. Shelley, take it away.
Yay. So I'm going to share 2 of my favorite dice games. The first one is a classic game, Yahtzee, and I'm sure many of you know this game, but if you don't, I'm so glad to introduce it to you this summer. Yahtzee is a family favorite in our family, and we're going to show you a little bit of how to play it and where to find the directions and such. So the materials that you're going to need are a scorecard, which you can get as a free download online. You need 5 dice, and a cup is optional. Lots of fun because it's fun to make noise while you're shaking up those dice. Also, I want to take a moment to look at the scorecard. The object of the game is going to be to fill in all of the cells in one column, and the Yahtzee scorecard is divided into 2 sections. In the upper section, the goal is to get the same numbers. For example, if you get 3 aces or 1s, you would get 3 points. In the lower section, you're forming combinations that may feel more like poker. So it's 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, full house, a small straight, a large straight. And Yahtzee is 5 of a kind. Chance, which is also in the lower section, is the sum total of the dice. They don't have to be any particular configuration. The object of the game, of course, is to get the most points possible. And as students, or you are doing this, you are going to develop some good understandings of informal probability while you practice some mental math with addition and multiplication and some straight up addition as well. So Mark, I would love for you to play with me. Let's show them a little bit of how Yahtzee goes. Are you ready?
Yeah, so I get 3 rolls, right?
Yes, you get 3 rolls.
Okay. So on my first roll, that's what I get. And I like those 6s. So I'm going to keep them. And I'm going to get rid of these dice. Roll again. And I get this. And I'm really happy now I got another 6 because that's what I was hoping for. So I'll keep my 6s again, get rid of those. And for my last roll, I roll that. And I'm super happy that I now have 4 6s.
That's a really good roll, Mark. What are you going to do with it? Let's take a look at the scorecard.
Okay. So I have 4 6s and a 1. So since I have a 1, I could take a point here.
Not a good option.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I can't even bother looking at 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s because I can't take any points there. I don't want to put zeros.
Well, you could get 0 points there if you wanted.
Yeah, right. Not a good option.
Not a good option.
6s is a great option.
Yep.
Because I get to count my 6s and get 24 points here. So I would highly consider that.
Okay.
But I want to look at the lower section too. And technically I could take 3 of a kind. I get to add, and it shows that I don't just get 18. I would get the entire total of all dice. So that would be a good option. 4 of a kind, I have that, and it happens to be the same number because I do get all dice. I don't have anything else up until chance, which you can always take as 25. So I have some good choices. I'd probably take the 4 of a kind, but you know, I could take 6s too. It's up to the player, and you know, you might have one of them already, and you're sort of forced to take another. So
right. For the game of Yahtzee, not only will you find scorecards online when you Google it, but you'll find game instructions on YouTube. So I hope you will enjoy the game of Yahtzee, and it is a commercial game. You can also purchase the game as a set. The second game and last game that we're going to share with you today is another one of my family favorites. It's the game of Pig. In this game, you only need 1 die or 2. It's up to you. The object is to earn some set number of points, say 100. Again, informal probability is going to come into play, and mental and written arithmetic are going to come into play as well. All you need to play this game is a score pad and the dice. And I will tell you that in my family, I often would carry dice. And when we went to restaurants and we were waiting for our dinner, I would pull out those dice and we would play Pig while we were waiting for dinner. It kept the kids active and happy. And that's what happens when you have a math teacher as a mom. So just to be clear, 1 or 2 die. If you roll a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, you will earn the total on the dice, and you have the option to continue. But if you roll a 1, then you pig out and you lose all your points.
And that's a 1. If you're playing with 2 dice, it's a 1 on either die.
Correct. Correct. At any time, you can stop and you keep your points. That's the decision point. And the first person to get the designated point, say 100, is the winner. And this is a pretty classic game as well, and you'll find the instructions on YouTube if you want a refresher, and my explanation is not sufficient. So now we're going to play, Mark.
So on my first roll, I roll a 6 and a 3, which is a 9, and I get to choose if I want to take a chance and go again. And what the heck, I will. So I get a 5 and a 3, that's an 8. So I get the sum of a 9 and an 8, which is 17. I'm doing pretty well. I think I'm going to chance it and go for a third roll. And I roll Ah,
Wah, wah, wah.
I got a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I get nothing now because I got greedy.
You got greedy. You pigged out. You got 0.
Okay,
Okay, my turn.
all right, here you go.
Okay. Oh, I got a 5 and a 2. That's cool. All right, so I have 7. I'm going to keep going. 7 is not that great.
Okay,
Second roll. 6. Okay, I have 13. I think I'm going to keep my 13. I'm not going to go for my third roll. I'm just going to hold on to my 13 points.
okay, so it would be 13 you, nothing for me, and then it would be my turn again.
Yep, that's the way you play. That's all there is to it. Those are our 4 games that we have for you. And here is a slide that shows the location for all of these. Again, the first 2 are located in Carol's Corner. The other 2 are open source. And we hope that you will enjoy finding them and playing them. 4 in a Row is a game that we are going to have in our new MathLinks program, which is going to be coming up in a couple of years. So those of you who are teachers, be on the lookout for that, because you'll find that as well as open middle problems in our next program. And we hope that these games will give you some fun and joy this summer. And we hope you all have a great summer, and thanks for joining us.